Do you actually know what happens inside your dog's brain the moment you raise your voice? You walk into the kitchen, you see the shredded remains of a sofa cushion or a knocked-over bin, and your instinctual reaction is to yell their name. You think you're teaching them a lesson. You think you're being a leader and setting a boundary. But behind those drooping ears and that guilty look, there is a biological crisis happening that most owners miss until the damage is already done. If you keep relying on volume to get your dog to listen, you might be unknowingly pushing them into a state of chronic stress, where they no longer see you as their protector but as a threat. Today we are diving into the failure of yelling. We're going inside the unpredictable human syndrome, the scientific reason why yelling never actually corrects behavior, and the vocal identity secret that can turn an anxious dog into a calm, bonded companion. If you keep breaking the rules of the voice, you might never experience the deepest level of connection your dog is ready to give you. 1. The guilt myth, reading the fear. Have you ever seen your dog look guilty after you've yelled? They tuck their tail, lower their head, and maybe even lick their lips. Most owners see this and think, he knows what he did wrong. But according to animal behaviorists, that look isn't guilt, it's submission and fear. In the sources, we learn that pets do not process cause and effect the way humans do. When you yell at your dog for something they did 10 minutes ago, they don't connect your anger to the shredded cushion. Instead, they connect the anger directly to you. In their mind, you have suddenly transformed from a safe base into an unpredictable human. A 2021 study from the Journal of Veterinary Behavior, initially focused on cats but applicable to the domestic bond, found that pets who are regularly yelled at show significantly higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. They aren't learning, I shouldn't chew the sofa. They are learning that being near you is dangerous. Over time, this doesn't fix the behavior, it quietly destroys the bond. 2. The amygdala hijack, why they stop listening. Why does your dog seem to ignore you when you yell? It's not because they're being stubborn. It's because their brain has literally shut down for maintenance. When a dog hears a loud, aggressive voice, their amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for the fight or flight response, fires off a massive alarm. In this state, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for learning and processing commands, goes offline. You are essentially yelling at a dog that is not home. They are too busy trying to survive the volume, the tone, and the energy to process the meaning of your words. Think about it, if every time you walked into a room someone randomly screamed at you, how long before you stopped wanting to be around them? That is exactly what your dog feels. They become mentally starving for a predictable environment, and when they don't get it, they withdraw. But wait, before we jump into the vocal identity secret that actually makes dogs listen, there's one habit almost every owner does out of love that might be doing the most damage of all. I'll uncover that at the end. For now, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us reach more owners who want to love their dogs the right way. 3. The power of short, soft phrases. What if I told you that the most powerful way to get your dog to listen involves doing less, not more? A 2022 study from Paris-Nanterre University discovered a fascinating detail about pet communication. Animals can distinguish their owner's voice from a stranger's, but they are significantly more alert and engaged when the owner uses a specific tone. When owners spoke in their normal adult voice, the animals barely reacted. But when they shifted into short, soft, and slightly higher-pitched phrases, the pets became visibly more engaged and affectionate. This is the safe voice. By consistently using this tone, you are building a vocal identity of safety. Your voice becomes a signal of comfort and calmness. For an anxious dog, hearing that low-energy narration tells their nervous system that everything is okay. You are no longer the unpredictable human, you are the secure attachment they can rely on. 4. The 3-second apology, fixing the damage. We've all lost our cool. We've all yelled. But what happens after the yell is where the bond is either saved or shattered. In the animal world, conflict is followed by reconciliation rituals. Your dog might try to apologize by offering a slow blink, a headbutt, or by following you silently from room to room. These aren't just cute habits. They are calculated emotional risks aimed at repairing the bond. If you ignore these signals or stay frustrated, their brain registers it as a failed attempt at repair. To fix the damage of the unpredictable human syndrome, you need to use the 3-second rule. Get low. Sit on the floor. In their world, height equals dominance and pressure. By sitting on the floor, you make yourself an equal presence, and remove the threat of your height. The slow blink. Look at them softly and slowly close your eyes. In the wild, this is a vulnerability that says, I'm not a threat. Wait, don't reach for them. Let them choose to come to you. When a dog chooses to bridge the gap after a conflict, that trust is 10 times stronger than anything you could force. 5. The N+1 rule for emotional safety. One of the biggest triggers for the unpredictable human syndrome is when an owner gets frustrated because a dog is acting out. But often that behavior is just a symptom of an understimulated environment. A study from applied animal behavior science found that animals in environments with low enrichment show significantly higher rates of anxiety and aggression. They aren't being bad, they are mentally starving. To reduce the tension that leads to yelling, you must follow the N+1 rule for resources and engagement. 1 play session, 1 den spot, 1 scent station, plus 1 extra. If your dog is bored, they will find their own entertainment, usually your shoes, which triggers your yelling, which triggers their stress, which triggers more behavior. It's a self-feeding cycle. By providing parallel presence, sitting near them without demanding anything, you are giving them the highest form of love. You are saying, I don't need anything from you, I just like being here. This creates a predictable foundation of love that makes yelling unnecessary. 6. The silent act of love. Routine is medicine. Remember the one thing almost every owner does out of love that might be doing the most damage? It's unpredictability. We think being spontaneous is fun for our dogs. We change walk times, feed them whenever, and move their beds to freshen up the room. But to a dog, consistency is safety. A 2019 study showed that pets exposed to unpredictable environments had significantly higher cortisol levels. When your routine is solid, your dog doesn't just feel safe, they finally let their guard down. They stop guarding the house and start melting into you. The unpredictable human syndrome is cured by boring consistency. Same food, same time, same safe voice. When your dog can predict your reaction, they can finally stop living in survival mode and start living in connection mode. Conclusion: being the safe base. The next time you walk into a room and see a mess, take a breath. Remember that your dog's brain isn't built to understand your anger, only your safety. Yelling is a failure of communication. It is a withdrawal from the trust bank you've been building. Instead of being the unpredictable human, choose to be the secure base. Use your soft voice, get down on their level, and lead with predictability. Your dog doesn't need a master. They don't need a boss. They need a person who is safe enough to sleep next to. If this video changed the way you're going to handle those bad dog moments, tell me in the comments. What's the one phrase that always calms your dog down? And if you want to know what it means when your dog tries to claim your seat the moment you stand up, check out our video on scent mixing right here. Because to your dog, you aren't just a human. You are their entire world, and they just want to know you're safe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.